possible.
Yeah, they just look. I guess he's not. I guess there's no shot since he's not going down. But I mean, these guys in the 1-2 line need to come and repush probably the mid. And I mean, if they can get into the mid again, they probably win the mid here because Like and Itox are both low HP.
Are there shots from Kano and Deepa's position on towards Like? I think there are, but maybe it's out of render because that shot exists, and Templeton is now starting to die actually from angles. The other 279 on the rock is also dead, and the HP lead has disintegrated in the meantime due to the fact that the middle has been lost for the side of Kylie, and they had that double Dravets repushing that middle for not too many reasons, and I think we can see the result of that right now.
Yeah, I mean, these double Dravets getting caught in mid is just not good for Kylie. I mean, just losing 2 guns, not for free, but not very. Double I7 back, but I don't think that's like all you need. I think you just needed to pressure over the mid and get the kills in the mid, but I mean, I think it was probably over by then. I mean, Templeton being shot out there, he's probably the last kind of keystone on that flank, and yeah, he just gets crossfired from mid.
Well, W is going to hold on, at least. They pick up their defensive side on Fisherman's Bay. So 2-1, showing signs of life at least. This one was a tough round though, and I think Kylie had a real opportunity to close this. But again, double Dravets going early on the 4 line instead of waiting for the double I7 to join and then pick up the middle that way. You know, there's, I don't know. I don't think the double Dravets going
really achieved anything. If they were sitting on the 3 line, they would have at least countered Mentos and be giving shots on towards the middle guys as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could have done either. I think maybe even going back to K5 to maybe even repush the 9-0 could have been possible with them double Dravex, but yeah, just going to the mid, dying for free basically is, yeah, kind of just what cost Kylie here. Because they were doing everything else was quite well. I mean, they traded well on 9-0, they got the kills on 1-2, it was just, yeah, the mid.
Nonetheless, W pick up a round. They need another one. Yeah, hopefully. They need another one. This was a tough round. It's a hard-fought round. They do end up getting it as well. One more. And tiebreaker. What was the tiebreaker map again?
I think it was live, folks. I think. So, I mean, you'd want to pick probably south on that side, probably if you're attacking. I don't know who has the fastest attack right now. I think it was probably Kylie, I guess, on Himmel.
The first Himmels, I guess, probably.
Yeah, probably, yeah. So they will get the pick unless somehow W win this next game very quickly.
I mean, W hasn't won any attacks yet, you know?
No. Yeah, that doesn't help their case.
Yeah, because they were just defending on Fisherman's Base, so fastest attack definitely in favor of Kylie so far.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see though. Maybe they'll pull it back in the next game. Oh, nice damage from Lucan here. 6-3. Where was he? He's in mid?
No, I think he was on the 9-0 line, no?
I can't remember exactly, but yeah, nice damage from him anyway. I mean, no other real standouts. I mean, Ho-Ri doing 3.5, you'd kind of expect a bit more with the amount of tanks in the mid, but especially as he's K5, you can shoot either mid and the 9-0, but I mean, the pen rate's not good either. Like 11.65 for a Ho-Ri is not nice.
No, the Ho-Ri needs to... I mean, the Ho-Ri going K5 is usually not that great anyways. Kano, I think, has a better game on the 4 line, and then you leave or send another Dravets instead. You know, I don't think the Ho-Ri wants to be there. I think he wants to just be around the 4 line and looking down the lanes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if he's on full line, and probably these double Draveks that went mid had probably a bit more cover, I guess, to play on. But with the Ho-Ri and K5, that can't really help. I mean, I think he shoots Itox when they were chasing him around the building, but other than that, I guess he didn't do that much.
Well. So Lucan had a good game. Very good pen ratio. They need another one of those Lucan battles.
Yeah, they really do. They need to put themselves back onto match point, hopefully get to Live Oaks, and hopefully win from there.
I mean, Live Oaks by itself is going to be a difficult story if we end up getting there. But first, we have another Fisherman's Bay. And, you know, in this one, Mentos was annoying, though, at least in the EBR. Cutting between enemy lines, getting behind, cutting off rotations. It's not that easy.
No, I mean, he played a very nice game there. I think he, like at the end, he was basically on the 3 line where the Hori should have been, and yeah, he was just causing all havoc around them. I don't know how much damage he did last game. I couldn't see, but I didn't notice, but I'd imagine he's probably got like 2k there.
I don't think it did that much.
Yeah, I would have thought he's shooting into the back of like K5. On that rock where the Hori was, but...
Yeah, but it's still an EBR. He needs a lot more time, though.
Yeah, I guess. It's like a minute he needs of constant shooting. But he got all the info in the beginning anyway, so W kind of knows what the enemy team was doing. And that's probably the most important thing for the EBR to know.
Yeah, I mean, he gave really good info on 1-2 line. I think they were pretty confident pushing the city. As they should have been at that point, with how many times they spotted.
Yeah. But Kylie bringing back the 140, 479s, double I7, and the rest Dravix.
3XR, EB, odd Dravet. So no light versus a light again. Mentos again has a big game. Needs to do a lot of spotting.
Yeah, you would think he probably opens 1-2, gets all the info on 1-2, and people going 1-2 and mid, but well, W going very heavy mid here.
So it's Kylie. Right, both teams. So what is the split off? 2 tanks city, 2 tanks city, 3 tanks, 4 tanks 1-2 for Kylie versus 2-1-2 for 3XR with TBR.
Yeah, God here taking the nice position out wide here, nice hold down here, kind of stops anything crossing in the mids, but I don't think W will probably care about this.
It looks like Brainbreaker's simply just pushing right up to him in that I7. Gives them a shot immediately, and now Kylie pushing across. Even with seeing all of this, they're just going for it. The press basically dead already, and Brainbreaker is shooting it off against God, and Click is starting to peek from behind. These Dravitzes are trying to put some shots in as well, but they cannot deny the peaks. There's simply too much HP being involved into the fight right now to deny any sort of peak onto this area. They will lose that I7 over time, and Manera needs to pull back. He's getting shot by the Dravitz from behind as well, and this middle positions are not really working out right now for Kylie. You can see them trailing HP because of it as well, even though they didn't have a light tank. They're now starting to repressure the 1-2 line, which is the correct move. They gotta keep some tanks focused and trained on towards the mid though, because if 3XR sees this, they should be pulling the trigger themselves on towards this middle, maybe go for a little bit of a re-push themselves, push through if they can. They were trying to pick up that double 279 that's up front. Piotr, you can see him leading the charge in the I7. They do realize that there's a lot of tanks moving down 1-2 line, so they're opting to push down the middle in return into Evil, Sunshine and Aphrodite, and those are Dravitzes, not 279s. They don't play that position just as well, and right now you could say that I think 3XR is making a good move, and the problem for Kylie is the fact that they have 4 tanks pushing down 1-2. This is a little bit too much, and the double tank in the city, Laveliard and Line, which are now getting overpushed as well, and 3XR is finding those isolations right now in a very, very good manner.
Yeah, these people on 1-2 are just pushing into nothing. They will eventually get into this 140 and Dravik, but I mean, this crossfire is really painful to push into, and they will have help from mid, so I don't think this 1-2 will go very well. And yeah, these people in city also being caught. I mean, the health was quite even for a bit, but I mean, W finally pulling out ahead with 2k up. So yeah, I mean, they're definitely in the driving seat here.
Sunshine down to his 1 shot. IOC will die in the 1-2 line. Sunshine goes down to Chucky. Clownzik and Templeton trying to pick up the pieces here. Clownzik will make the peak, takes 1 more, takes another one then even from the back lines. Evilok now is the next one on the chopping board, and it looks like 3XR have found their stride in this one. EBR sneaking through as well. This middle aggression against this amount of tanks middle from 3XR is almost always a mistake.
Yeah, it's very surprising that they pushed across here with these 279s and just got crossfired from everywhere, really. I mean, city, 1-2, mid also as well. So yeah, very surprising by Kali just push into this. But yeah, I mean, they knew as well from the God crossing. So yeah, just an odd decision there to push it across.
Well, it will be tiebreaker, and it will still be Kylie picking the side, I think.
Yeah, it should be. My prediction's looking pretty good, but
It was mine, no?
yeah, I think we both went 3-2.
Yep.
W, yeah.
Yep.
So
It would be really funny for Banter to be piping up since the beginning of the broadcast, and then after 2 matches actually be behind. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, that would be quite funny. He has to make his next 2 predictions carefully, I think, so he's not behind.
Yeah, and you see the problem there with pushing down 1-2 with 4 versus just 2, right? You need fire on the middle. The 7 line also got isolated. If they want to do something like this, the 7-8 line needs to back off, which is a hard call to make. They need to go really far back and create a layer of crossfire, kind of like Miku did, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they use this house on the D5, D6, and they manage to get back to A6 with these double Dravik, this crossfire is quite potent, but I mean, they just didn't. They sat in city for a bit too long, and they got overpushed by I think, like 3 or 4 tanks, and yeah, they just got caught.
Mentos may even find himself Clownzik in the Dallas. He does pick up the kill. 3 tanks left standing. They know that they've got this in the bag, and I think Kylie's just making sure to extend the timer just in case it was close, but I think they're already thinking about live oaks. I somehow feel like they're picking the fence and parking the bus.
Yeah, definitely. Clearly the camp on Himmel worked, so maybe a camp will work again, so we'll have to see.
I wouldn't be surprised if they park the bus again.
No, I wouldn't be. I mean, this 9-0 camp from north is kind of annoying to deal with, but maybe it won't be as much as a surprise. And I mean, you can't really camp with 11 Type 5s this time, so.
Have you tried?
I haven't, but
Exactly.
yeah, I guess we'll have to try it at some point.
I mean, it's definitely a strategy I could see a clan like Gifted run.
Okay, man. We're not known for camping, okay?
Not really known for anything, no?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Very hostile.
What time zone are you guys playing in maneuvers?
Well, we're splitting up. I'm going to the PA, and some people are going to Tilt. So.
Wow!
Yeah.
Giving up the fight, huh?
Well, we did 12 teams in Gifted last time and got 3rd, and yeah, planning for that was a nightmare. So I've given up. Don't want to plan anymore.
Understandable, to be honest.
The amount of drama that happens in campaign is incredible, honestly.
Is it? Is it these days?
You would be surprised.
People are losing too much and not getting points.
Well, that doesn't help. No.
Well, 2-2 between these two. As mentioned, I'm pretty sure Kylie gets to pick the tiebreaker side. Ian said that Livebox is the tiebreaker, so I'm going to trust him on that one.
I might just double check, you know, just to
make sure.
Yeah. Yes, it is Livebox.
Yeah, Kylie won the Himmels in 4 minutes and 28 seconds, so they get the pick.
Yeah, I mean, you would. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Livebox is. I mean, South is the better side, but you know, you can set up some.
I'm telling you, they picked defense.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I don't know yet, but I have got this feeling.
You have a feeling. No confirmation, though.
I don't see why my feeling would be wrong, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you're always right, I guess, right? So.
Am I?
Most of the time.
Thanks. You too.
Thanks. I gotta, you know, gotta be nice to you so I can come back, maybe, you know?
Wait, hold up. It's Kian that controls the strings here.
Well, you could put a good word in for me, you know? I mean, banter's here, so, like...
you know, if they ask banter back, you know...
Anything's possible.
So yeah, Live Oaks tiebreaker. We don't have confirmation on both sides they've picked, but I think we'll know soon enough. Kylie picks attack. Seems I was wrong. I really was expecting them to camp, honestly.
Damn. Maybe W will camp.
No, I don't think so. I mean, they might play heavy 9-0, but I don't think they would opt to camp it.
Yeah, it's kind of rough from north, though. Playing full city is quite hard, but going 9-0, at least if you go full 9-0, you can either fight if they come, and if not, you can just sit and wait for them to come in.
The classic advanced strategy. We go 9-0 line with everybody.
Yeah.
If they come to fight us, it's fine. It's a quick game. If they don't, we camp and we just say we took our half of the map.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really repush. Well, it's really hard to repush when you just have full 9-0. So, yeah, just forced to sit and wait.
I mean, there's the old strategies, you know, you like go 9-0 line, then you group up on A line, you wait for them to pressure south, you start repushing the city, because it usually takes a few minutes before they start pushing south, and then you play the game of time, which is also a very annoying thing to play against, because all of a sudden they're barreling down the A line with 10 tanks, and you're like, well, guess we gotta keep pushing 9-0 line.
Yeah, I know. I think some German teams did it. I think Nagy, he was in. Oh, used to do that a lot in.
Raid used to do that.
Yeah, Raid as well. Yeah. So
that's where I remember it from. So
again, not my time. I wasn't back playing in them times. I started playing like competitive in 2022, probably. So just to make you feel old. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, you can retire when you get your first fist. Doesn't even matter which one.
An A count?
No.
Oh, well, that's becoming significantly harder then.
On an A, we only count gold fists.
I could probably get into dopamine. Probably. I know Ferret. Ferret's a cool guy.
I haven't told Ferret that it's not a good idea. We already have Dashly, bro. You know, relax.
Ugh, yikes. Yeah, that's fair.
You'd have to like 1v1 Dashly for the spot.
In what? Chief?
I don't know. Anything.
Anything.
114 SPs on Cliff.
Oof. That's pretty difficult, man. I still like that's how Clueless are known.
Hey, look, another prediction. Another prediction Kihan gets 100% wrong. Fantastic.
You were right about not listening to Kihan.
I'm telling you, you start picking up on this.
Yeah.
You know, for some people, the decline is harsher than others.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Pretty harsh for Kihan is what you're saying.
I mean, that's what you're saying. I'm just saying that for some people.
Some people, okay. I mean, you know, never mind. Kylie might get this in the Panthers then, right? So need to be careful.
I know. That's the downside, of course. You know, it could be back in the mix or just completely out of it. 3 XR, double ice, triple ice 7, double 140, double EBR, 8 Dravitzes, Kylie, double EBR, 5 IS7s, a 279 SCRV, and 6 Dravitzes. So not that many differences. The double 140 is interesting though.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably think not a 9-0 play with 140s, but I mean,
why not?
I just think I don't know where they go. They're just worse against Dravix if you send them K0 and playing on H9.
I think if you're brawling in 0 line, you could still play the 140s close to the bridge. You know, just DPMing tanks that are crossing.
Yeah, I guess you could, but I guess there's a restart.
Both teams are just opting for a nap.
Yeah. I guess Clover's not in. He's not moved at all. Looks like Kylie got the information that there is a restart. So
a little bit of delay, but they ended up getting there nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean,
this is where you check distance traveled and you realize if they were going bridge or 1-2 line.
Can you check? Surely it's just the same distance. You're still going the same way, like.
Not really, because I don't think it's the same distance. You have to turn on the bridge. Or near the bridge. So
if you're restarting this early, I don't think you're gonna go.
And then it's something to test. It's something to test, Ian. If there's a case, you know.
I will in the future. Don't worry. So I know for next time.
If you make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, of course.
Did Gifted ever make it to the playoffs?
No. I've FC'd, I think 3 teams to final of the quali. So.
But they've never made it to groups.
No, I've never made it to groups.
It's the first time for everything.
There is. I mean, you know, I'm just gonna say Gifted to holding me back. You know,
so Gifted is holding you back.
Yeah.
So how come you're not in the 3SRW team?
No one's asked.
Have you applied?
No, I don't know. There's an application form to fill in. I don't know.
Interesting. So we can talk about the start though, because it looked like both teams were kind of mirroring each other. There was a little bit of south for Kylie, 1-7 at the building, and the rest basically going 1-2 line, if I'm not mistaken, something along those lines. And from W, it looked like they were basically all going city.
Yeah, it looked like a few things on probably C6 on that hill, and yeah, everything else going towards the city at least. I guess they're using the 140s kind of as like STRV replacements, I guess. Kind of like Leos, maybe, just slightly better to fight in the end game. Kind of like when people use K91s,
Way
I
worse
guess.
at sniping, though.
Yeah, they are, obviously, but I guess, I mean, people use K91s for like a little bit when it got the fully traversable turret and got buffed. It was like before 2.0, I think, a while ago. But yeah, I still think STRV is just obviously the best sniper, basically, probably in the game.
Yeah. I would assume so. So the lineups, of course, cannot change. So they're going to be playing the same. And I doubt there's going to be any changes in the opening game plan either.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt it. Maybe they are, listening in, and well, even though there's 10-minute delay, but, saying, well, there's distance traveled is this much, so they must be playing full city. Let's go camp.
Imagine.
Oh, what? What are you doing? Completely different.
Yeah, they're opting to go south instead.
Yeah. Maybe
Interesting.
have some more time to think about.
They had a change of they had a change of heart.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I mean, W need to be quite careful. They don't just get. I guess they won't probably get overpushed. I guess there's not enough from Kylie going across. So it looks like they're ready for an underplay, by the looks of it.
Mentos getting spotted out. Needs to be careful. A lot of guns trained his way. And at the same time, Kylie's taking it very slow and methodical. Deepa crossing!
Still spotted. I guess he didn't know. Mentos is still in the bush spotting him.
In return, though, I mean, Deepa will say that there's a decent amount of tanks in the city because, well, they hit him. So, can Kylie take this as an advantage to do something against the set? No, W is resetting towards 9-0 line fully now.
I mean, both EBRs now down to 400 and 500 for Kylie, which is, I mean, not great. I mean, it's still playable, obviously, but yeah, it's not what you want to see. Can't really clear any EBRs now.
I feel like it doesn't really matter that much either, though.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like WR kind of going for this zero-line camp, so, I mean, if EBRs find some annoying positions in the water, it could be kind of annoying to get them cleared with only that much health.
Piotr's pushed up pretty far. There's still a lot of tanks behind this I7. But I don't think W will be making any moves anytime soon. And you can see Kylie in return starting to take over the city, but they have lost 2 minutes of the game time, of course.
Yeah, they do need to be a little careful. They still obviously have enough time for now, but they need to start probably doing something in the next probably 2 minutes, really, to setting up what side they want to push or how they want to push. But I mean, these EBRs are going to find some annoying positions, I think, and they will take even more time away from Kylie to push out. I don't think you can do this J-line repush for sure, so I feel like very limited options for Kylie now.
A-line is the best bet, always, almost.
Yeah, I mean, I like going zero line, well not zero line, J line if possible, but most of the time, yeah, there's going to be an EBR there, maybe a 279 on the bridge with the carts destroyed so you can see under, so, yeah. I mean, Jackie's leaving though.
I mean, Kylie's taking it very, very slow. I'd say on Liveoaks, your move 5 minutes is kind of like the last possibility to have time to rotate a little bit behind it, of course.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, Proco's like 6 minutes, and yeah, Liveoaks is about 5 really. But I mean, it's still taking the time. I guess are they still worried about people being C6? But I mean, they should have seen them probably by now. Really, so they should know that they're not there anymore. And off of that, you know that they're going to be playing 9-0.
Well, they haven't taken under either yet as well, though. Like towards like C6, C7. The thing is, 3XR doesn't have 279 to put at the building, so they could lose that position really quickly. Are you going to send the EBR after all, the low HP EBR?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a bit worrying for Kylie. I mean, it looks like they are going to do this A-line play, but I mean, by the time they're there, it's going to be 5 minutes, so they need to get a move on. And I guess W could actually do, I think, what you were saying with like what Germans were doing a while ago, and just push out the K line if they wanted to, and just put like 2 in E9, E8, and just spot the cap, and yeah, just do it that way. But I mean, Pilter's getting all info as well. He's peeking quite deep on the K line, so he probably knows that there's nothing K3 anymore. So you do need to be kind of careful.
Templeton is looking for the repush here, immediately getting shot at. I said realizes this as well. They're backing up. They do get some information about tanks that are still in the K line at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, they know about this 140 and whatever's behind him, so I mean, I guess this was kind of like a bait, maybe, just to see what's actually there. But Evil spotted on the A line, so I think they know this push is coming.
And this with a little bit of a greedy approach, does find some spots out a little bit more now. Crystal leading the charge, and Kylie realize what's happening. Just as well as 3XR realize what's happening as well. They have that triple tank stuck in the south pocket, and you can see a big repush starting to come already towards the zero line. And the problem is nobody's going to be spotted on this crossing because they haven't established an EBR deep whatsoever. So they're kind of missing this information on the guys crossing over so far, giving the STRV. Finally, Brainbreaker does get spotted, takes a shot from the STRV, and the STRV is a very powerful asset for this though.
Yeah, if they play time, I mean, they don't have a lot of it for Kylie, but the STRV will find some very annoying angles to sit in. I mean, it'd be really nice if they had a guy in D7 right now just to kind of shoot the back of Miku, Lucan, and Brainbreaker, but looks like Kylie is just going to have to push in here.
Kylie's going to have to somehow make this happen. Crystal leading the charge on the 279, angling up, even trying to push, looking out, and here comes the push from Kylie. Can they get the focus fire out on towards these Dravits? Is looking down towards the 2-shot. They have to get him out. Crystal is low in the 279, but can angle back up, and the 3XR reinforcing that pocket one more time. In the meantime, the crossover towards Monera's position. Evilok is dead in his own Dravits, but the STRV still putting in some shots. Templeton repushing as well in the south. It's not unfactored right now, and this is a problem there for that STRV. He's getting harassed by the double EBR, and he cannot be protected because Hellmind is dead. Chucky goes down towards the one-shot in return, but it's still him and Mentos versus just an STRV, leaving Dopa Dipa to go and try and reinforce this. Kylie so far have more HP though. Chucky down towards the one-shot, stuck behind the building. In the south, Kylie has one, but in the north, are they actually starting to win this or not? Who's coming out ahead? It does look like Kylie is doing a good job at it. Kano finds the kill on one of those EBRs and now will start blasting back towards these Dravets. His little bit of space created by killing that one EBR. Mentos comes back in after killing his EBR, but it's not going to matter at this point. If they can pick up Miku, if they can find it, then Mentos has all the HP in his team with 1400. It's 4k against 8k, and it does look like Kylie with this A-line pressure has found enough to make this happen. Even with it being spotted W, just not enough guns in the game, not enough damage to really make this happen, and they will be out of the tournament, and it will be Kylie to continue through to get a match against Rix in the lower bracket finals.
Yeah, I mean, quite weird from W. I feel like they should be punishing this cross like a lot harder, but they all just wanted to get into this little area on this house and just fight there. But I feel like they could have bled them like 4k or something and then repushed off of it. But yeah, they just decided they want to take the position.
I feel like this is the kind of game where you're actually pressuring out south, not north.
Yeah, I do think so as well, actually.
You punish the crossing. The EBRs are low HP, so they're 500 and 500. Which means Mentos can play the 9-line bushes or whatever, which is super hard to clear. You know that as well, because you have to drive over it when getting punished, and the EBRs would be delayed from being able to put pressure on the cap in return, and you push over the south, you kill the pocket of tanks that is there, even if they're running away, and you start pressuring the cap yourself.
Yeah, that would have been, I think, a lot better of a decision for W, but yeah, they chose to repush the 9-line. 9-0, and yeah, I mean, did no punish on their initial push for Kylie, and yeah, then they just got into better positions, made the crossfire. W dead.
Yeah, no, I mean, W could just leave the guy on 0 line, play behind him, start retaking under at the same time, pressure south. There's so many things they could have done there.
Yeah, a lot of decisions. I guess, I mean, Pilter made the decision and wasn't a good one. It's sometimes what happens.
So the cookie crumbles. Kylie will move on to face off against Rix to then decide who's going to play off against Invil. Taking a look at the damage board here, the STRV actually coming out on top. He had a tough game because he was getting YOLO'd by EBRs in his position.
He fired a lot, 38 shells shot.
A lot of blinds.
Yeah, a lot of blinds. I was doing quite good damage in this 140 as well, though. 5.5. But yeah, not enough.
No. And it's weird because W did have enough information to make the assessments out of, right?
Yeah, they did. I mean, they spotted this A-line really early, and they knew about these 3 tanks in the south as well, from them peeking out wide, so... Yeah, just bad decision-making, I guess. Unfortunate for W. It was in their hands, for sure.
It is what it is, so at the end of the day, the better team moves on. Rix plays off against Kylie, and that is going to be an interesting one as well, because Rix dominated Kylie already earlier on in the tournament. Can they do the same thing?
I think so. I mean, they did look very strong against Invil. If they play that Sun River, they should really be in the final right now, so you would think Rix will win that game.
You would think so, but of course, again, it's a best of 5.
This is obviously true.
And a best of 5, many things can happen. Yeah, for 3XR, we expected maybe a little bit more from them than what we have seen, and maybe in the next tournament together we will see them once more do better. But for now, that's enough from us. We're gonna take a little break. When we come back, we're gonna see the lower bracket finals, but before that, let's take it away with a little bit of replays.
processor. In entertainment, its rendering speeds render other processors obsolete. Powers cloud services for billions. Helps change the course of climate change. And uses AI to accelerate disease detection and cures. We make the world's most advanced processors, but only with your vision can we advance the world. AMD. Together, we advance.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the lower bracket finals of the AMD Clan Showdown March over here in Europe. And, well, if the past two matches are anything to go by, I think we're in for a treat, Bunter.
Yeah, it's been a couple of tiebreakers today. My predictions have been bold, but they've paid off for me, so I'm quite happy.
We don't talk about mine. Please don't.
No, we love talking about you. The thing is, if you would do just that tiny bit better, then we have Ducky. I think that's and I need to step up a little bit here. But yeah, I mean, I did some bold predictions at the beginning of the day, and I wasn't unhappy about it. I think these Ricks and Kylie side are stronger than we give them credit for, and I think this 3XR side, it's not a nice thing to say. I mean, it's flashy because they have Piotr from Invil, but overall, I think in terms of just players, they were not actually as strong as we all saw them to be. I think the international teams of the past have been a bit stronger, and well, they're out now. But looking at these next ones, the Ukrainian lower bracket final derby, Rix versus Kylie, a lot of well-known players here from OLS and a lot of experience in it as well. And although we saw in the first day yesterday that Rix beat Kylie 4-1, I do think Kylie are actually closer to Rix than we give them credit for here.
Well, we'll have to see, but obviously you mentioned it. The deeper we go into the tournament bracket, kind of the more well-known, the more accomplished all of the players will be here. Of course, the decorations with badges not as, not as crazy for Kylie as we saw for Rix, but to be honest, like the players that we see here, all of them will be very, very achieved in their own right. Like there's not a single one where I need to tell you how to say it, right?
Yeah, this Kylie team as well, it's different from the Kylie teams of the past. I think they've added some better players, and a lot of them, they're quite well known from OLS. So we got obviously Aphrodite, Lankak, I said, Leveliard, Clownzik, Kutsank. Like these are Sunshine even. These are all players who have played for the top OLS teams. Obviously, Rix are that more famous side. They do also have a lot of well-known names there from the CIS region, even before shifting over to EU. But Maps, Live Oaks being banned by Rix, Highway by Kylie. Again, this might be an entire tournament where we don't see Highway or Redshire. Himmelsdorf and Sun River being banned. Cliff chosen by Rix. Fisherman's by Kylie with a tiebreaker of Prokhorovka.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, with this best of 5, it's very, very important to get a strong start. I mean, Cliff immediately chosen here. And I think that goes to show that Rix just immediately want to go up and into the faces of Kylie and just establish that they are what all the casters believe to be true, and that is the better players here. Ian and me with the 3-1. Very unfortunate for Ian. I think he did follow my prediction because I was actually the one to put it in first. And both Ducky and you are saying it's going to be a rather close affair with the 3-2.
Ducky says 3-1 for me.
Oh, 3-1. Am I tripping? I might be.
On the spreadsheet it says 3-1 for Ducky, so I think he's just following the pack at the moment.
Now it says actually you 3-2 and all of us 3-1.
For me it says 3-2 and the rest of you 3-1. Yeah, that's what it is.
Maybe it was just updating, but that means that both Ian and Ducky copied my prediction. So let's see how well that goes for them, or maybe it goes well for me. Who will?
I learned this very early in the casting game. Rule number 1 of casting: never copy Kian's prediction.
Well, anyway, Rix and Kylie are going to kick off this lower bracket finals here, and Rix are bringing a Fiddy B together with triple CS63, triple IS7, and that makes 8 BZs.
Yeah, Kylie, pretty similar lineup, only adding an extra CS for 1 BZ, still with that singular 50B, so same country, same mindset maybe, but Rix have those IS7s that Kylie do not. opening-wise, Rix on the defensive, mostly going lower side with those CSs upper. Kylie going for a much more split approach. CS is all upper side with a mix of BZs, but triple BZ lower. So we'll need to see. Kylie could catch Rix in between a sandwich if they do this correctly, but opening wise they're not opting to go up. They're actually going to push straight through onto Katsang, Clownsick, Sunshine and Templeton. We'll need to see if they can focus them out. Some of them are turning to the right, but it looks like Kylie aren't actually going to cross to the donut, and they might. No, they are actually crossing to the donut now, but this is very slow by Kylie.
Very slow by Kylie. However, the 50B of Kylie is now on the reload, being chased by double IS-7 as the BZs have to take the brunt of the damage here. That is 3 of them. Templeton now turning sideways, making a shield for Sunshine and Clownsick. And in the meanwhile, Rix have also tried to repush into the donut, but here they're driving into the crossfire by the rest of the Kylie tanks. Delconix having to drop off on the left here as Language and Depressed are starting to take the crossfire positions, and that is not something that you want to push into if you're the team in yellow, as Laveliard is winning the 1v1 on the hill against Flash, who dies now. That is an additional position on the map that Kylie now have under their control. And keep in mind, Rix, they have double IS-7 out of the game right now. Exactly those tanks with the strong turrets that you would want in the hold down position. They're completely out of game.
Yeah, this is the issue with Rix's tactics. They push straight through, and pushing straight through is all well and good if you make those kills on the lower side, because then you have the tank advantage that you can use to re-push upwards, but they didn't make those kills, and now they're just stuck on the lower side in this turkey shoot. HP, it's bad, but it's not horrendous, but position-wise, it is all over right now for Rix on this low ground. Not enough HP to re-push back up. Almost 180 degrees of crossfire. No matter where you peek, you're gonna get shot in the side of the turret. This is just now gonna be a slow death of Rix. Sure, they might get Sunshine on this lower side. The Evolve bounces that one, so Sunshine will live just that little bit longer, but there should really be no way now that Kylie can lose this, really, on positions.
I mean, Sunshine finally dying. That is the lower ground presence gone for Kylie, who actually have lost quite a few tanks, 5 of them compared to the only 2 of Rix. But Laveliard in that Hurricane in the B5 position is going to make the life of the IS-7s and the BZ on the low side ever so hard. And that 50B, the problem becomes apparent. If it has a lot of open ground to cover and it cannot stand still, then it's not going to trade favorably. Keep in mind, Twilight and Beast with the IS-7s also on one-shots here. They cannot even peek against the Hurricane anymore as Little picks up Depressed. Laveliard responds with the Hurricane, though, diable to fall.
Yeah, HP is closing, which is quite a surprise. Some bad trades on this Kylie side. With that HP advantage, with the gun advantage, there is a possibility for Kylie to re-push this. It's gonna be difficult. Obviously, there is that crossfire. You see Lankak on the left, Trash Panda, Monera, Crystal there, and on the right side is the BZ and CS, but it looks like it's coming now. Little take some damage. Copyat will take the most of it. They want to try and get out Monera and Lankak and Crystal, trying to eliminate that crossfire. The kills are not coming in on this Kylie side, and in the meantime, Crystal, Lankak goes down. Excellence in return by Evilog. They do want to try and make kills squeezy now, and Rix cannot let this game go slow, because if they get it to go slow, they're gonna start losing guns.
Well, the problem now for Rix is that they are still in this multi-layered crossfire. The G2 balcony that's being held by 2 tanks, one of them even a BZ-75. That is not something you can keep sustaining to push into. Paradise is going to be the playmaker from here on out. He has basically all the HP for the team of Rix that are still up by round about 1,000, but a salvo from the BZ-CS combination on the balcony might even be able to remedy the situation. Monera cannot really peek Trash Panda. He's basically a 50-50 against the enemy BZs, but he's facing off against an IS-7, so could take yet another shot of damage. And once again, as it calms down, Laveliard is driving to B5 with the Hurricane to open up yet another angle. They do even spot out the CS. It's a proxy, and Beast with the IS-7 to profit. So one of the CSs actually falls.
Yeah, the thing is right now for Rix, because they are defending, so they don't really need to make a play at the moment, but with that cap soon to be started, HP is like gold dust for Rix at the moment. The problem is 1,000 of that HP is on Mindbreaker, which is not the tank you want it to be on. Paradise has, again, a lot of the HP as we press the escape bar there, but he has that dead driver, which will make things a little bit annoying for you, for him. I mean, the nice thing about Kylie is that a lot of their tanks are not one-shots, right? So the CSs can both take shots for 50Bs. Little goes down in the meantime. Not sure where that was. I think the Hurricane from K1 picked him up, so nicely using that angle. But
I mean, he did definitely get spotted for it. It was Dopa Dupa, and he's now down towards one shot, 8 HP. But to be honest, one would be enough to start up the cap. Laveliard finally able to boost up. He's going to find himself in a very nice crossfire position should Rix want to start up the action once again in the donut. For now, though, he does spot out Beast, and now Dopa Dupa, yeah, indeed, Beast falling. Dopa Dupa in the Hurricane, however, is going to put the timer on the team of Rix. This means Paradise is going to go close, and now the balcony positions, they need to come in as the Hurricane from A5 starts opening up. Paradise knows that he cannot sustain these trades. There's also shots going in towards Manera and Trash Panda. Good one by Mindbreaker. This is it. Do or die for the likes of Rix as Mindbreaker does 2 for 2 with the 50B. Now looking for more. Looking for Manera in that BZ75. The first shot doesn't connect, but he only needs one more to make Manera. One shot for the CS on the other side. He gets it. Paradise to shut it down. Only 4 tanks remaining for Kylie. One of those is on the cap. 2 of those on the balcony. This means Laveliard left to his own devices against Liberty.
Yeah, and it all falls apart for Kylie a little bit. There's still some potential in this game, but Paradise is going to be able to bully Godix here. Godix doesn't give one in return. It's Paradise. I'm not sure why he's opting not to shoot. His opponent finally decides to shoot, but the cap gets abandoned. He knows he can't maintain that one. Twilight and Mindbreaker try and get the position, so Icehead should be dying probably to Mindbreaker in a moment. And what looked like such a good game for Kylie, I think showing a little bit of an experience, just letting this one slip, considering that they had such better positions for most of this game.
I mean, the crossfire was there in the donut, even though the trades were maybe not the most favorable. Also, the map control was completely on Kylie's side, and yet still Rix managed to pick it up here. 4 tanks remaining, and I think at the end we just see a difference maybe in player skill between those two teams, because position-wise I do thoroughly agree with you. Kylie should have had this one in the bag, but Rix just steal it away. It's a robbery in broad daylight.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic because we play in a meta of BZs, and BZs basically the entire top of the tank is pennable. So you saw sometimes these Kylie tanks, they were peeking on the Rix tanks on the low ground. Now, if that was a Dravik or a Chief, you just pen and go back because you can't see the cupola. But because the cupola is so big on the BZ, they're able to shoot it from that low ground. So every time Kylie tried to trade, it was basically an equal trade, when if it was a different tank, it would probably be a positive one. So yeah, Rick showing that player skill on the even while being in inferior position, still able to trade equal or positively. So yeah, solid by Rix, able to come back from what did not look like good positions. I thought it was basically over, to be honest, because realistically, Kylie should never let a game like that slip from their fingers.
I mean, we do see some good damage numbers coming in. I mean, Twilight farming 4.4 with the IS-7, but he was alive for a pretty long time. Same for Evil, but I think in a game like this, it's most important, like, your pen rates that you're doing, because some of those tanks are going to go down very, very early on. And here, it actually, I mean, the pen rate for Kylie, that might be the problem. That's a whole 5% difference that we see.
Yeah, but bear in mind the fact that they are in the high ground shooting down. I mean, in theory, they should have a better pen rate, but it's little things. I mean, they can make a difference. I mean, the CSs by Kylie played really well, actually. Like, Laveliard played really nicely. Same with Evilok. A lot of damage on those two. But it's just losing those BZs on the lower side and not being able to trade effectively for them really caused them a lot of problems. But yeah, it's a worrying sign, you know, because this is a game. When you're playing World of Tanks and you lose a game that you really should win, it does play on your mind a little bit. You start getting annoyed, and especially if it's the first game in a best of 5. Best of 5 is not a lot of time. It's a lot of the times it can be less than half an hour. So it's going to be a reset, and they played. Sorry.
Like, the thing as well is, I feel like Cliff can be such an unforgiving map because, well, it can be, like, it can feel large, and sometimes the distances at which you fight are, you know, rather big as well. Say if you're trying to snipe from the hill, trying to snipe from this position in particular as well, not just kidding, A5 and B5 as well. But at the same time, every mistake that you do make is going to get punished immediately. So yeah, it's kind of crazy in this regard how much Rix were able to bring it back.
Yeah, but well, I was gonna say, I mean, they did play from the worst side of how to say, Rix played from the worst side and still managed to win, so they made it work. So now we're gonna need to see if Kylie can pull something back on in theory the worst side. And looking at the lineups here, Rix double 50B, double CS, what's that? 5 IS7s, 1 E5, and the rest is BZs.
And for Kylie, we have the quadruple CS, the double 50B, and the rest is just BZs as well. I'm very interested where Rix are going to send the E5, to be honest. That is not a usual tank for Cliff. That doesn't mean it's a bad tank. It's just that we don't really see it very often.
Just to make it, actually, I expected him to die because the track symbol was above his head, but he makes it. But the repush from the BZ is going him in, so he is not long for this world. Little takes a lot of damage there as well. Big aggression by Rix in this middle. Beast finally goes down. Twilight's trying to run, so donut control taken by Kylie, but Crystal gets absolutely eliminated there. Bit of a missed position. Focus fire is really nice for Rix, but now you can see the tanks from Rix. They're turning, they're boosting, they're going towards this donut. They're going to reinforce their brothers there and repush it. That's going to force Kylie to re-aggress this middle.
Well, let's see how that one's going to go, because the reinforcements from Rix, they have arrived in the donut, and they are going to repush, but the tanks by Kylie, they're hull down. It's a menacing prospect. That's why we see them hesitating. As Excellence, Delconics, all of them are just waiting because they see the BZs from Kylie also are there ready to give side shots. That probably was the opportunity for them. Now it is kind of wasted. The heavy tanks by Rix up in the air, not really able to do anything. Little also needs to be very careful with that IS-7. In the meanwhile, shots getting traded on the hill as well. It seems like Flash is getting the better of Dopa Dupa, who is down towards a 2-shot, but Iset is there in the BZ75 to make sure his team is not going to lose the hill that easily. Now, kind of locked into a stalemate.
Yeah, but it's really important that Kylie got that BZ up the hill, and he's going to be able to push that CS off, and that means that's going to limit Rix's rotation capabilities. They can't push this donut, they're outnumbered. The double 50B on lower side is not really doing anything, and Kylie have kind of have realized that, so they've rotated Aphrodite away back towards their own base to cover that middle. So I think Kylie are probably just ahead in this game. Look at those traces, good god. Everyone aimed on Iset at the moment, trying to deny him peeking. But even though Kylie have the less HP, I think they are a little bit ahead in this game. They have a bit superior positions. They have the hill, they have donut control. The double 50B on lower side is not really being productive by Rix, and they're attacking. So many tanks being locked in this donut area is really problematic for Rix at the moment.
I feel like this is an extremely volatile situation, because the tanks right now are very, very close towards each other. I mean, that's probably less than 100 meters between all those BZs and IS-7s that are in the middle of the map. Some blind shots being taken, but not connect on the Rix 50Bs. But yeah, here, this explosive potential that we see from Rix, they are basically just waiting for Kylie to make a rotation, to put some tanks somewhere else, so they can just form up as a big blob and collapse on towards the people that are sort of in the lower end of the donut. Although, the longer this goes, actually, the less sure I am this would be a good idea, because the 50B would completely clip out, and there is no chance to really punish him on the fade. And the CS63 consistently would have side shots, so they would probably have to commit in both 50Bs to get out that CS from this annoying rock position in EF1.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you look at the IS-7 on B4, he's in the position there where he's out of the view range of the BZ on the hill, but he's trying to snipe at him. But if that's the play you're making with 6 minutes to go, it really shows that you don't know what you want to do. You can see Sunshine, Temple, and Evalock, they triple peeked and tried to blind shoot the D1 corner, but the 50B wasn't peeking, so that comes to naught. But now it's really difficult game for Rix. Like, they have to donut, but the thing is that Kylie know it. So you can see Squeezy has dropped off. They're bringing the IS-7 lower, so they're going to try and collapse two angles. You can see they're little, his equipment choices. No rammer, opting for the Grousers. Full speed, full Davai. So...
You know, Killer Pit was right all along. Grousers is the best equipment.
I like Grousers. Yeah, but Killer Pit's the player, you know when you're making a train with IS-7s and then a 279 in the front? That's Killer Pit. He's the one who takes all the shots and dies when you go in. That's Killer Pit's job. He was in my team before. I love Killer Pit, but he's that type of player, you know.
Well, let's see. I think at this point, Rix recognize that they have to do something, and indeed, that's what's going to happen. They start to aggress in the donut, but they're taking a lot of damage. Same, though, can be said for Sunshine. Diable blowing up, Trash Panda to follow, though, and finally, the tanks connect in the donut here. Sunshine down towards 46 HP, but tanks keep blowing up left, right, and center. The CS-63 on the rock position has been eliminated, though, so there is no medium tank DPM coming in. It's just the 50Bs from the lower side that can do it. Evil doesn't make it out, and all of a sudden Rix get the lower position, but at what cost? They're down so much HP.
Down on HP, but up in positions. They're going to be able to slowly bully these tanks. Godix needs to try and make that kill on Copyatter. He's going to be in a problem, but Twilight is peeking with excellence. They make the kill. Iset peeks over, doesn't connect on Akka, it looks like. And 3k HP advantage now for Kylie. Guns also in the disadvantage for Kylie. But still, as the dust settles, they still have that hill control, and even though they have these worst positions, Lankak will die over time. Leveliard will probably die over time as well, but he does have that corpse covering him, which is an advantage. But right now, it's... Rix do have some possibilities here. Like I said, Lankak will die eventually, picks up Twilight, really nice shot there. But the fact that Kylie still have this hill control, the 50Bs are still so healthy, it's really going to cause problems for Rix.
I mean, the problem is that whenever the 50Bs want to do something, they have to cover a lot of open ground, and they are going to be spotted.
Yeah, but they don't need to do anything. They're defending. Even if Lankak and Leveliard die, they can't push the CS on G2, and they're gonna have to push those 50Bs eventually because they can't get up the hill and kill Iset. There's two ways they win this game. They either kill Iset and gain upper control, or they have to push through lower and try to cap or get angles. And they can't push through lower because of the high HP of the 50Bs, and they can't push the hill because they don't have enough HP, and Iset has a lot of HP.
Well, let's see, Delconix, it's going to be rather annoying for him now, because he's in a crossfire between the 50B of Manera, Laveliard peeking from the front, Language might peek at any point in time as well. So I think he is going to be probably the next linchpin that gets removed from the lineup of Rix. And the thing is, they cannot really do anything against Manera right now in that 50B that is pushed up, because there is a secondary B covering him as well. So Squeezy cannot do anything. Aphrodite with an absolute stunner off a shot, removing Positive from the game as well. So Rix are starting to bleed tanks even as Delconix gets picked up. Aphrodite with 3 shots remaining in the clip basically gets to decide where he goes from here on out. The E5 would be a good target. The IS-7 just as well. Akka goes over 4k damage, but it does not matter. Kylie are going to equalize the scoreline here after what felt like a big struggle on Cliff.
Yeah, like two brothers wrestling, you know, similar strengths, but just too much HP bled, and the fact that they couldn't... The fact that Kylie got the hill here was really crucial, because it creates a lot of problems for Rix. It really limits their options, and they can't retake the hill because of the 50Bs on the lower side. There's a 50B that can clip, and they can also get shot from the donut because they can't secure donut control. So the options were really limited for Rix. They crossed with not enough, and Kylie crossed some over as well to reinforce, which meant they didn't have enough, and that really just put them in such an awkward position. I mean, they did pretty well considering the game is this close, but it was always kind of tilting towards Kylie. So Cliff down, 1-1, and a pretty equal fight. I'm still very happy with my prediction at the moment.
Yeah, I think the positive thing here to say is that definitely we seem to have 2 evenly matched teams right now. It's still a bit concerning to me personally that essentially Kylie, in my opinion, gave the first game away a little bit, just because the positions were favoring them so hard. But yeah, overall, good to see. And I can't wait to see the next map. First of all, though, damage here. Actually, no real big outliers. And once again, it is the team with the higher pen rate and hit rate that wins the battle, which comes to show that in these prolonged shootouts, sometimes it can be worth just holding your one or second shot that you're going to do this game just that little bit longer, just so that you're able to make it count. Because as soon as you're dead, which, you know, might not be your own fault, but it might happen sooner rather than later, well, then you're not going to get any more chances to do another shot. So the ones that you have, you need to make them count.
Yeah, I mean, in this game, there was a lot of blind shooting, because in slow games, you blind shoot a lot, and also, as you said, there's no real standout players, but that's not really surprising in a game like this. There was no hard carry. It was kind of Ricks put themselves in a bad position, and they have to be a bit lucky to get themselves out of said bad position. So, yeah, Cliff finished. We're kind of seeing the same maps today. We're seeing a lot of Fissures, a lot of Cliff. But
people keep banning Live Oaks.
I love Live Oaks.
Redshire, I don't know. Maybe they just don't like the maps that have a lot of green on them.
Live Oaks is more brown, I guess. But yeah, I mean, Highway being banned a lot, I think, with the changes and the fact that most EU teams will ban it against CIS, like Ukrainian teams, because they used to play on CIS server, and on their clan showdown they had Highway. So the Ukrainian teams have a lot more experience on Highway than the EU teams. So we will ban that, and then they don't really want to fight each other on Highway because they prefer the other maps. Live Oaks as well, they don't have that much experience, so they tend to ban it.
But that doesn't work here because both of the teams are, you know, trying.
Yeah, but maybe they just fine the one time maybe they just thought, well, if everyone's gonna ban it against us, we might as well. It's the same with Live Oaks. They never had Live Oaks on their server in their clan showdown, so I've played a few trainings against the Ukrainian teams on Live Oaks, and they're absolutely atrocious on it. If I'm honest, like they're really bad on Live Oaks. They have no idea what to do on it, so they tend to ban it just because of the inexperience. But yeah, picking the same maps, I think Fisherman's is a fairly safe bet. I think it's a decent map where you can do a lot on it. I like it. So
I mean, the funny thing about Fisherman's is that we basically used to say that it's a 1-1 map with the defender being favored, and that kind of changed. I mean, we still said it's a 1-1 map, but over time it shifted to kind of the attacker being favored.
The thing is that was back when we had the 279 meta.
Yeah,
because you had very high positions in the base, so you could sit above your opponents with 279s. But now it's, yeah, as you said, it's kind of shifted. But lineups, take it away, Kian.
Well, Rick's coming into this one with an STRB, a Hori, a VK72. Then we have double IS7, quintuple 279, and 5 Dravetses as well.
I love it when you say quintuple. But Kylie coming in, 7 Dravets, 1 IS7, 5 279s, and double Hori. They've played this strat before, the double Hori on A1. We'll need to see if Ricks did their homework. STRV being picked by Ricks is an interesting one. It's fallen a little bit out of favor recently in the current meta, I've noticed, with Hori being more favored as teams. It's quite interesting, the meta on Fishers. It's kind of people took less 279s, and now people are taking even more 279s. So it's kind of like there was a dip in the meta, but now it's becoming a bit more popular. Crystal with optics there, no rammer. Interesting choice.
Well, he's going to be the spotting 279. Everything for the gun marker, I guess, as Paradise charges in with the IS-7 on the one line. He's trying to kind of sell a fake here a little bit, because behind him there are the TDs. There is a singular heavy tank as well. Make that 2 with the VK72 as well. That one obviously in the toolkit just for the D1 position, so that possibly later they could farm the middle with it. But so far, Crystal actually taking some damage here as well. But so far, so good and so passive actually by both teams. They're sending some tanks towards the middle, some tanks to cities, some tanks to want to line as well. But no one is really wanting or willing to risk it with an immediate all-out push, which is kind of a little bit what we saw on Cliff as well. Yes, they both had their openings and were willing to take a little bit of damage there, but after that, it is first of all just reset mentally and see what the opponent actually is doing, so you can react to that and possibly outplay them this way. But as it stands right now, both of the teams not really willing to make the first mistake here, so to speak. Paradise, you could say he's the most aggressive player pushed up to the enemy side, but he has so much cover that even that was an extremely safe play.
Yeah, it's an interesting one by Kylie because they're baiting, right? So they have the double Hori, the 279 forward spotting with the IS-7. So they're baiting that Rix have seen the previous replay, and instead of wanting to go 1-2 and fight 2 Horis, they're going to push out the city. And then they've got this like nice little trap in the city on B9. So they'll, if Rix decides to push, they'll catch it. So it's a nice, pretty balanced one by Kylie. They've got a lot of options here. Finally, the VKK being pushed down to 1-2. If you guys don't know, he can get pushed onto the rock there on D1, and from there he can shoot the middle. You see he's reversing because it's a rear turreted tank, so Paradise will probably give him a little bit of a boost. And with that 350 millimeters of pen, he can shoot the middle. But I don't think he's going to have great shots. Templeton is behind that little house, and the rest of the 279s have shifted over towards the 6 line, so Aka's not really going to have anything to do, and 3 minutes gone. Minimal things have actually happened so far, but rotation coming in by Kylie.
Well, Aka is still wrestling a little bit with the terrain, with his tank maybe even, but as you said, there are no targets of opportunity that are really presenting themselves for the VK-72. So Rix soon are going to understand that this little gimmick, this little maneuver that is very well known at this point in time, is not really going to help them in any way, sort of fashion. I said taking a lot of damage, not from the VK though, but rather from the tanks in front of him. And now with the VK on reload, of course, the 279s have a little bit of time to readjust, but you can see that Crystal, I said, all of the 279s here in the north of the map, they're very, very well aware of what Rix is doing here. Now, though, we do see a little bit of aggression coming through from the team of Rix. They're pushing some 279s to the west of the city, but Kylie, they are already ahead of that. They are taking a lot of the Dravetzes, or should I say Dravci, which is actually the grammatically correct plural for them in the Czech language. They're pulling them on the 1 and 2 line. They're not spotted yet, and this is going to be a nasty surprise, but for whom? Probably for the VK.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if the VKK will get out a shot here. Looks like a couple of bounces, so he might have gotten out his last shot, but he gets absolutely deleted. Paradise is going to have to reverse up and over, and this is a nice move by Kylie, not sitting passive, and now Paradise getting blocked by Lankak, super nice. And the fact that Rix have such a much slower lineup, they have all these 279s in the middle that are not fast, they're left absolutely scrambling here. Paradise makes it out, but he's probably going to die from the middle as he does. The tanks are scrambling by Rix on the 1 line, trying to go down to the K2 position. But bear in mind, only 5 minutes left. If this gets into a split map scenario, it's good for Kylie. They have so much time to work with.
They indeed have a lot of time here, because right now Rix can't really overpush the middle, it seems. Kylie, they are also up in HP, and now the problem for Kylie is that, for Rix is that they cannot really reinforce the tanks in the bottom left of the map here. You can see Diable, Excellence. Both of them kind of left hung out to dry at the same time. Neckarein's going down to 1-shot as well. Manera might be a good target for the players of Rix, but he's staying safe so far. There is a Dravets, though, on A6, but finally, Positive in the Hori gets picked up, so the pocket in J2, it's getting attacked by the tanks of Kylie. They are on defense, but they're certainly not giving a damn about it, just over-pushing and killing the pocket.
Yeah, I'm not sure this is the play, actually. I feel like you could just split the map, but it's the play they've gone with, and looks like if you... this is one. And bear in mind, what's important as well, these are pushing tanks. These are multiple Dravetzes who will need to push later on. It's not the STRV who can't push. So it's really important now. Kylie up on HP, more guns, more positions, and time is on their side right now. There's no EBR that can apply cap pressure. It's gonna have to be a play, and most of Rix's team are 279s who are stuck in this middle. And 279s are not quick. They need to move now if they want to get into position in time.
And look what's still waiting in AB23. It is double Hori. So any kind of push that Rix will try and make through the middle, the Horis will be there to possibly punish and contribute to help Templeton and Crystal, who are the last kind of remaining bastion that Kai Li has in the middle of the map together with Iset. As soon as the 279s get spotted from Rix, they're going to be in a world of trouble in the middle of the map, because Kai Li, they've completely set up shop now on the entirety of the 1-2 line. So there are going to be angles on towards basically anyone approaching. And this is a problem for Rix, who are also down in guns. Yes, the HP are basically dead even 1 point apart, but the guns and the mobility of the tanks remaining is the problem, as we do see a move by Rix. It's not going to be the middle or the north, it is indeed the south, coming through with the 279 and the Dravets together with an STRV as backup cover fire. But yeah, so far I guess they're managing to cover the ground without taking a lot of damage, but they are going to be at a severe gun disadvantage.
Yeah, and even with that gun disadvantage, I think time is the biggest factor here at the moment. Like, Kak pulls back, he takes a fair chunk of damage to pull back to that bunker, but 2 minutes and 15 seconds, I just don't see it. Maybe if Rix have another couple of minutes on there added on, extra time perhaps, they could actually achieve something here, but 2 minutes to go, that's a lot of meat in the south. And bear in mind, all these Kylie tanks, they're gonna be hull down, they're not even one shot. Some of them, you can see the press side, I said both not one shots. Clownsick is not a one shot, same with Evilok. So it's just, I just don't see it happening. HP starting to swing in Rix's favor though. 1k HP up, 1.5 even. They are eliminating this one tank in the middle of Templeton. He will go down, but it's acceptable losses at this point because there's still so much to do. These tanks, Liberty, Beast, they're the quickest tanks that Rix have at the moment, and they are not even close to being in the fight where they need to be.
Well, less than 90 seconds now remaining, and yes, Rix are doing a good job at chipping away at the HP of Kylie. Maybe even, language does go down towards a Twilight, but the problem is they do not have any kind of time. Depressed, finally falling in the 279, and this little pocket of Kylie might actually get cleaned up in the Dravzi, as Evil is down towards a one-shot W flash with the Battle STRV out, coming in here, and does it on the move. Crazy things to happen, but it doesn't really change the fact that Kylie still have a lot of tanks with a lot of HP in the ABC 1, 2, 3 positions. Now though, finally the full push coming out from Rix. How much damage are the Horis going to do from the backside is the question. Liberty with a bounce onto Crystal. That's not what he needs right now. They need everything to connect, and they need to find those Horis and eliminate them. Will they have enough effective DPM close to them is the question, and I think the answer is going to be no.
Yeah, you know, when the STRV has been promoted to an Assault TD, it's dire times. 20 seconds remaining. Dopa Deepa will go down. But these two Horis, these Bastions in that corner, 4,000 HP combined, they just need to sit in that low ground and they will not die. I don't see why they're actually even fighting and taking the risk here, but Rix just leaving it that little bit too late. Like I said, if there was a little bit of extra time in this game, you can really see, to be honest, it's a masterclass by Rix. Pretty much superior positions by Kylie, but Rix still managing to make it as close as it was. Another 30 seconds, it's their game, but alas, it is not to be, and Kylie will be taking the match point here, and deservedly so.
Yeah, you said it was a masterclass by Rix. I mean, a very well executed plan, in my opinion. The problem was just that it was too late. Everything was fine. It was just not done early enough, and you do get, you do get full 10 minutes of the game, and it just goes to show that if you're not being effective at using this time very, very early on, then it might come back to bite you later.
Well, that's the thing as well, because the 279 is such a slow tank, 6k by flash, by the way, because the tank is so effective. But the problem is it's slow since the nerf, which means you can fight this middle really well, but rotating 279s is no... It's like a lumbering beast, you know? And you can see Akka, 0 damage, 630. I mean, he was caught. The fact that Rix weren't spotting Kylie's repush, I think, was a massive issue in this game.
I tend to agree with you, because now you see, I mean, Akka going out without damage. I think Paradise also, he was the second player trying to boost up the VK. And that is two tanks of your team that go out without essentially doing anything, and it's not their fault. It's just due to how it played out with a good unspotted push. But not only do you lose those 2 tanks, you lose the entirety of the 1-2 line off of that, together with some more tanks that get overrun. And then you have to fight all of this back. So I think by Kylie, it was a very well executed and very well calculated push at the same time to go into the 1-2. And at the end, they were able to kind of trade map control and positions for time, which, you know, sometimes is all that the defender needs to do. So well done to them. And for X, I mean, well done as well for executing well at the end, but just too late.
Yeah, it is worrying though, this end game by Kylie. It wasn't played well. You know, they had more guns, it was a split map scenario, and like this game at the end, if there was another 30 seconds, we would be saying it's not even close on HP and guns. Like, this was not good by Kylie, by any stretch of the imagination, in this end game, making it this close. Because it's equal on HP. Ricks are forced to make the move, which means they take the damage on the crossings, and they have less guns. So, in theory, it should be a lot closer than what this was. I feel like Kylie kind of rolled over a little bit at the end, and time is the only reason they really got to win this game, which is a concern. But I mean, at the end of the day, you get the points and you move on. You don't remember your losses.
But you do remember your wins, and Kylie just need 1 more of those to make it to the finals, where, of course, Indel have been waiting since the first match today, and probably chewing a bit of popcorn right now, watching both of those battle it out, because for them, every single round that gets played now is information that they can use. Every single round here, and of course, like, for both of the teams right now, their goal, first and foremost, is to make it to the finals in the first place. So they will be able to keep playing. So they're not going to be holding back. They're going to be showing their absolute A game, which is all information that Invil can use later. Now, though, Rix looking to fend off tournament elimination. They're bringing an SRV, a T57. All right, interesting choice. Together with, I'm going to say it for you, quintuple 279, quadruple IS7, and quadruple Dravets.
I just poked a hole in my chainmail, but for Kylie, double Dravets, 5 IS7s, and the rest 279 with that double E5 and some random fire shots by Kylie. Maybe a celebratory shoot things into the air, but yeah, match point now. And bear in mind though, if Kylie do win this, they're going to be playing 3 games in a row, and that is, I've been in that situation before. It is mentally exhausting to play 3 on the go, and Invil are going to be fresh and ready, so...
It's tough. It's tough. At the same time, they're going to be warm, just like the guns of Kylie. Maybe they just wanted to warm them up with shooting here at the start. A lot of tanks being concentrated here in the middle of the map at the start as well. A lot of tanks that you wouldn't expect there at the same time. Dravets, IS7s, etc. They're not bad, hold down, but normally the middle is the domain of the 279.
But you know why they went to the middle?
Probably hoping to pounce, I would say.
No, to counter, they expected Rix to go aggressive over the middle, and they didn't. Which means now the Kylie look a bit stupid with all these tanks in the middle. They're not gonna, they won't make a play in the middle. They just trying. And I think Rix were planning on going aggressive. They have a lot of tanks in the middle. You can see this IS7, 279 on the left, a lot of 279s. So maybe they got the information and decided not to go over the mid, but it would have been a very good play by Kylie to counter, because they would have gotten a ton of damage on these 279s in the crossings, and then maybe just repush them. But Godix here with the speed lineup, he's not spotting this 1-2 repush, better in mind. That's the thing with playing no lights. No lights means no information, and if they push out this 1-2 line right now, it's going to cause real problems for Kylie, because they are not in position.
Well, first of all, they need to make the decision to do so, but I don't even think that all the tanks by Kylie were spotted even in the middle. So, since, as you said, both of the teams are playing without any light tanks, the information that they are playing with is actually gravely limited. Like, yeah, the 2 IS7s spot each other. Some tanks were spotted in the middle, and of course they do see the lineups. There is no fog of war. But other than that, I mean, do you actually commit to such a blind push if you're a Kylie when, you know, it's match point for you? it's a coin flip that, at least at this point in the game, I'm not sure I would be willing to take.
Yeah, this is a bold one by Crystal, by the way, pushing through onto this side. Not really sure. I mean, he is well covered. And the tanks from Kylie still haven't left the middle, which is very interesting. These IS-7s and Dravids, they're still in the middle. 3 minutes gone and not much done by Kylie so far, so I'm not really sure. I think both these teams, because they play against each other and they know each other from things like OLS and things like that. Imagine if we had like two Invils playing each other, where it's like Mafia and Hit and Run with OLS. The teams, because they know each other, they have to kind of outthink their own brother, you know? So that's how I kind of see this game. But now Kylie rotating these IS-7s. We'll need to see left or right. And it looks like they're going towards the right side. They want to push out the city. But that is no easy task. The Dravic will spot them close. Then there's 279. TVT7 behind. STRV rotating as well. And minimal cover on the 1-2 line if Rix decide to repush it.
The STRV is now rotating a bit as well from the side of Rix. I think Rix are probably thinking that the 1-2 line is kind of okay-ish covered with all of the IS-7s and Dravci that they have there. But Kylie now trying to sell a bit of a fake, actually, with sending the second IS-7 together with double E5 towards the 1-2 line. So at least directly close towards the enemies, they are outnumbering them, but with the reinforcements that Rix actually have available, they could just, re-aggress in towards the IS-7s and the E5s and just take them all out of the game. And then the question is, what actually happens with the teams, with the tanks in the southeast of the map? The punishment on towards Language is absolutely brutal, but Delphonics is just gonna blow up regardless. Evil also down towards one shot, and he has that Cupola in the E5 as well going down. So yes, they're trading 1-for-1 and they're getting a position. They're also getting a lot of information, Kylie, that is, because, of course, the tanks, especially Evilork, are going to be relaying the information, what exactly shot at them, and that is why we see the city move now. But Language, for example, I mean, he's in a pickle. He ain't gonna get out. And Godix without the driver, the E5 behind him, that's not a lot of meat anymore.
Yeah, I feel there was a bit of a mistake there by Kylie. I think they should have just peeked altogether, got the free pick and pulled back, but they opted not to. They opted to commit. That causes them a real issue now because Rix have all the options in their hands. You see all these 279s in the middle. They're aimed on this city. They have a full volley if Kylie decide to push the city. Kylie are in such a problem right now. They don't have enough to push the city, and they don't have enough to push 1-2 either. They're completely stuck right now, and you can kind of see they don't know what they want to do. 4.5 minutes, you got to do something right now if you want to make something work. But they just don't know what they want to do. Interesting decision by Rix, opting not to hold this, though. It looks like they want to run.
I mean, they're kind of giving up the middle a little bit, but at the same time, there is still an STRV that can lay down the law from the A5 position. So I think dropping down a little bit from the middle isn't really that much of a problem right now, as long as your tanks don't end up dying against 279s on high ground. Now, however, Kylie seem to have decided that we should have enough forces for a push on the 1-2 line, and they're going to be starting that push, but do they actually have enough? I mean, it's going to be a 5 versus 5, and Language is already pretty beat up. W Flash being rotated as well with the STRV, and all the tanks starting to get spotted. The 279s from the middle, they could give a brutal salvo onto the likes of Trash Panda and Dopa as they are starting to cross here. Good damage on the Dravetzes in the backline, and here we can see the 279 from the back is shooting, but the STRV gets spotted and gets absolutely deleted. Jakufa style. Not what you want to see.
Not what you want to see. It's an interesting one by Kylie. They tried to rotate out of the city, but they got spotted, and that meant Rix were going to stay on this 1-2. Now, it's not that bad, though. Kylie take this 1-2 hold down, and they're going to start to try and shoot the middle here. They have shots onto Nico Hines and Brainbreaker. That means Mindbreaker wants to try and leave. He gets picked up for that Akka. Not in a great position either. But bear in mind, there is crossfire from the city, and Kylie are making this work, actually. They're pushing over the middle. Pressure them too. The SGRV is gone, so there is no backline cover for these tanks in the middle except Copyat and the tanks in the city. Nico Hines goes down, Akka is going to go down, and Kylie are making this work. Yes, they're down on HP, but they've got those guns. yes, they can't push out the 1-2, but now they're just going to convert it to a city push and try and eliminate that side of the map.
They're playing against the clock, essentially, once again. It is 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and that is some very high HP tanks by Rick still in the city. But if they manage to single them out, that might be good for them. Diable getting pushed on in the Dravids, taking a lot of damage here immediately because there's just so many guns. Now Positive running for his life with the T-57 currently reloading as little as 1v1ing Manera here right now. He is going to try to make his way away, and this last stronghold once again in the A1-2-3 positions by Rix might be what saves them, but there's still 2 minutes to go as Laveliot engages on towards Little. The Dravids, a very good tank for face hugging against the 279 as Little gets pummeled from the side down towards a 2-shot as well. And not all the tanks by Rix are actually safe in the northwestern positions, and this is going to mean that Kylie slowly but surely, also with the gun advantage, managed to edge out in the HP department. Laveliot to shut down Little, and now it's only the tanks in the northwest and a singular 279 in A8.
Yeah, it's all over. The HP might be close, but they just have the angles. The Hori promoted to Assault TD, 268v4 style, and now just peeking, making these kills. Kopiat isolated in this corner in 1v3. He's not winning that, even with Depressed missing it. Liberty focused out. They're not even focused firing at this point. Kasank doesn't pen it, but it doesn't make a difference. Liberty goes down. Twilight goes down. Paradise, the last bastion in that corner. And with that, we can firmly say that Kylie will be entering the Clan Showdown Grand Finals, and I will be winning the prediction game.
Well, congratulations on that one, first of all, and congratulations to Kylie for making it a 3-1 scoreline. I believe we're going to be updating that one right away as well. But yeah, this also means that something that doesn't happen too often is going to happen, and this means that the upper bracket finals are actually not going to get a rematch in the grand finals, which yeah, I mean, it happens sometimes, but not too often. So I think for Invil also, they were probably like thinking we're going to be playing against Rix. So for them, this will be a little bit of a surprise. They might have to switch it up a bit. And well, if you're looking at the team of Rix, for Flash to get spotted there, that was absolutely detrimental.
Yeah, he would have given so much damage onto that middle when they overpushed. The fact that Flash got spotted and just eliminated 9-4-1. Obviously, a lot of those are blind shots. But the fact that he dies means that Kylie can make this mid overpush without fear of getting farmed. And they just completely made it work. I mean, yes, Kylie made a bit of a mess of this 1-2 line. Killing that initial IS-7 and then losing the E5 and Lankak down to 800 HP. But from that, they really made this work. I was really fearful for them in this game. I felt time was running too low. It looked like they had no idea what they wanted to do, but they did a masterful end game here, pressuring this middle perfectly, pressuring the 1-2 at the same time to get shots into the, you know, the middle shoots 1-2, 1-2 shoots the middle, and you have like kind of this symbiotic relationship, but it's solid by Kylie, and they fully deserve to be in this finals. I did say, like, I predicted Kylie 2 for 2, because I look at this Kylie lineup and I think it looks a lot better than it is on paper. I've played a couple of trainings against them as well, and they're solid. So I was fully, to be honest, I was quite confident they would be entering the finals.
Well, and after all of this, I would say a little bit of an unexpected result in the lower bracket.